Okay. Now, welcome back to the channel. Not Done Yet Adventures. I don't know if we call this a podcast or a roundtable, but we're down in Bar Down.
Bar Down.
Back there is our Not Done Yet Adventures banner. We chose to sit at the table tonight, but
Are your hemorrhoids acting up?
No. I just wanted to sit down. I thought this was a nice, cozy, sitting at a table, just kind of shooting the breeze and talking about things that we're doing with the channel. And, we're in riding season now. We've had one trip and got some stuff planned. But one thing that happened that we wanted to share on the channel is we talked to the Sideshow guys, our Canadian friends, and they ended up sending some merchandise down to us. And Wayne's got one sitting back here, and it's pretty nice looking merchandise.
Yeah, pretty nice sweatshirt.
And
Sideshow guys on the front.
Yeah, nice of the guys to send that down to us.
Sleep, off-road, repair, repeat. Which is, the repair part. That's you, right?
Well, it might have something to do with the machines if you got to repair them all the time.
Yeah, that's.
Wait. I'm getting information from my sources. We got late breaking news.
What's that late breaking news? Did you get on your phone?
No, through my ear. Somebody's talking in my ear.
Was it John or another source?
I don't know. Hang on a minute. Sources up in Canada.
Canada, through the wildfires.
Yeah. I'm hearing there's some people going to get some new machines. They said, wait, not to broadcast this yet.
Oh.
So we'll have to hold this video?
Nah, put it out. Who cares?
You get a new machine?
I'm not getting a new machine. At
You
least
get a
not
new
yet.
machine?
No, I tried. State Farm wouldn't let me.
I'm not getting a new machine. John, did he say anything about a new machine?
He can't afford it.
Well, so this leads to what I've been speculating for several months now. So we ordered this, and they shipped the box to me. The box came, sweatshirts, 4 sweatshirt, t-shirt, stickers, and this was in the box too. Now, I'm not quite sure if they stole Don's water bottle and sold it to us, or if this was maybe what they call an Easter egg. They're trying to give us a hint. So I did some digging, and I went back and I started watching some of their videos again, and there's hints everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
It does say Wolverine RMAX 1000 here on the back, too.
And there's hints everywhere. I mean, they talk about Yamaha power, how impressed they are with the RMAX. When we were out there to see them in Canada, they sat in all our machines and were just talking about how great they were.
Did you notice for the latest videos, they're not wearing the clog shoes or whatever the hell them
The
things
Crocs.
are. The Crocs they're not wearing. They're wearing real boots even.
Both of them were.
You know why? You don't have to get out of the machines. You don't get stuck.
Right.
That's true.
Right,
That's
right.
true.
Maybe that's...
So we need to investigate further because, I'm telling you, the two of them hang around with Don all the time, and they see the Yamaha reliability. A couple other guys in their groups, another YXZ, a couple other RMAXs, the RMAX Sport. One of their latest videos, he was going through mud, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, one of those Sideshow guys got stuck. The RMAX just plowed right through.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to investigate this, and we'll have to. I'm going to reach out and see if I can get a quote from Eric or Derek. Maybe we should reach out to Don too, mate. He's closer to him than we are. Maybe he knows something we don't.
He's probably been sworn to secrecy.
Let me see if I can. I'm checking their Facebook, see if there's a Talon or a Polaris for sale here.
We know the other thing too. I saw.
They did say they had different drivers. And they might have been talking about that old Razor that they have.
Yeah.
Right? But I don't think so. They might be getting different drivers for their machines so they can get new ones.
Yeah, I don't know where they get. Well, the Canadians, nothing against you Canadians up there, but some of them aren't too bright, so they might buy that Polaris and that Talon. I don't know. They're not all smart like us Americans by Yamaha. Don's one of the smart Canadians. He must have spent a lot of time in the States and then went up to Canada. That's why he likes Yamaha.
Maybe.
But, the other thing, too, I noticed when I was doing some research on those guys is they were filmed in RMAXs at a show in Toronto.
No.
And I didn't catch that.
I did see that.
they were just raving about it. As a matter of fact, one of the R-Maxes in 25 is red. It's got red on it.
Oh,
And I thought, okay,
man.
you know,
Derek's going to love that.
There you go. So if you're going to give up a Honda that's a little underpowered, not as good as the Yamaha, he'd want the red one. I think he would want the red trim.
I agree.
For sure.
I think the Sideshow Guys logo will look good underneath that R-Max. Yeah, we're going to have to, if it wasn't so late, I'd call them, but they're probably in bed, those guys. Go to bed early when you'd ride a Honda or a Polaris.
What time is it in Canada anyway?
Yeah.
They're on Canadian time.
Yeah, they're on Canadian time. Yeah, so this is interesting, very interesting. I mean, I'd be willing to bet that if they get Yamahas, we'll be making several trips up there.
Oh yeah.
Because we want to be around like-minded people.
Yeah.
If it's one thing to get around the trails and we got to wait for Derek and Eric always in the back. They're slow machines, getting stuck everywhere. Us Yamahas are out front.
Mm-hmm.
I know how Don feels. I really do.
I don't know how he does it day in and day out.
I think it's just humor for him. You got to have some of those people around. You know how we take people with us. That, it's like, hey, you got to have that guy around. He's like, maybe that's Don invites him because of that. Hey, we got to have a Honda guy and a Polaris guy in there. If everybody rode a Yamaha, who'd you make fun of?
There you go. That's a good point.
The other thing too. Did you see that they bought an RV?
I saw that.
So that means they're going to camp out places.
Was that a real RV?
Well, I saw them inside the RV in the video.
It kind of reminded me of Christmas Vacation.
Well, yeah. But I can see them. If they're going to do multi-day trips with that, stay overnight. You can't take a Honda or Polaris for multi-day trips. The Polaris should be changing the belt every 5 minutes.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Now the Talon, transmission, you don't have to worry about belt. But
there's no room to pack anything.
Yeah, and he gets stuck everywhere.
They got their Milwaukee cases that they can put little fishing lures in.
But you're not supposed to have old Milwaukee in it.
That's for tools. You gotta have tools to fix everything.
That's true.
Yeah, so we'll more to come on this. I mean, I want to really. I'm curious to see if they bought 25s or.
2-seaters, 4-seaters,
Yeah, I don't. That's interesting.
Them 4-seaters are real nice.
But getting back to it, we really appreciate the swag, and when we get enough subscribers like you guys do, then maybe we'll do something like that. But
we'll send you some Yamaha shirts.
Yeah, you're going to need Yamaha, gear because spending money on a machine, you probably won't get much money out of your machine. So I'll tell all the rest of the Americans we ride with to help you out, help the channel out, buy swag from you, so you can afford Yamaha gear. We don't want you going around, with stuff that's inferior.
And you can find them on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and it says sideshowguys.com.
Interesting. But what we're planning coming up, Greg's going to South Dakota. Another member of our foursome is out there at, where's he at, Black Hills?
He is working at a KOA camp as a camp host at the Palmer Gulch, Mount Rushmore KOA.
So we've seen pictures and posts about, he's got his hoopty out there with him, Yamaha, by the way, blue Yamaha. And he's been riding all over, him and his wife. And so Greg's going to go out and visit him, stand for a week?
Week to 10 days.
Week to 10 days. Hang out with them, scope out some spots we might go to in the future. And me and Wayne and my two brothers and another guy that rides with us, or rides with my brothers, we're going to go to Tecumseh Trails this weekend, Southern Ohio, and get some seat time in there. And then from there, we got some other things we're looking at. Found a place I'd really like to go to in PA at the end of June. Mountain Ridge or Mountain View ATV park. It's by Somerset, PA. Saw some videos. My brother just was by there. He didn't go to the park, but he was by there this past week when he was in PA. It looks like an interesting place. Might try that out. Of course, we got the big trip to Idaho in the fall. That's probably logistically the biggest trip we've ever done.
We don't do logistics. You do logistics.
Yeah, it's a 3-day drive out, 3-day drive back, and then I think 8, 9, 10, something like that days on the trail. We'll put more about that when we get closer, but
Do you think logistically it's more than Newfoundland?
yeah, because of the lack of infrastructure. Newfoundland, we could go from a little town or city to city, and basically in Idaho there's we start in a city, but then there's not another city until the other side of the state. They call it Elk City, but it's got a little grocery store and campgrounds, and that's it. No real. And the other thing too is lack of cell signal. Carrying extra gas, which we've never had to do a lot of. We were fortunate in Newfoundland. You could get, only one time did I think we got close to run out of gas, and we had altered the route on that trip.
Got close.
Put us into.
My gas light was blinking. I never knew it did that.
And of course, New Hampshire, we stayed in 2 different spots, so it wasn't truly going from spot to spot. Upper Peninsula, we had some. I had a machine breakdown, had to tow that, and Wayne towed that for a while.
Wasn't a Yamaha, by the way?
And those guys ended up leaving early from that one. Yeah, he went and got smart, bought a Yamaha after he. Cub Cadet was good for a starter, but he got to the real machine. And now he's like us. So yeah, there's more to come. We want to continue to bring content that you guys want to see. I know just riding videos get boring. We're trying to do some other things, like this roundtable thing or whatever we're calling it. Talk about stuff we're doing, and just some of the people we've met, sideshow guys we met, good guys. They have an invite to come down to go to West Virginia with us in the fall if they want. They're going to make a decision because they typically go in the spring, but their group is not going to go. They chose to do something else this year. So I invited them down, and we got enough room. And new this year for us at Hatfield is we're going back to Ashland, do the Southern Trails, but we also have a guy that lives down there that is going to guide us around to some of the outlaw trails that maybe we could find through maps and stuff, but he knows where they're all at, so it'd be less time getting to places, some of the tunnels and things like that we haven't seen. It's been 3 years since we were in Ashland last? Yeah, so it'd be good to get back down there. We rented a couple of the houses down there, the cabins down there, big ones. So it'd be an interesting trip. I'm gonna stay there for a week again. That's a couple's trip. All the wives go. And I don't think what do you got planned camping wise? I know wintertime you're talking about Florida again.
Yeah, Florida for a couple months.
That's why you and I keep working, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't hate the player.
So what we want to do for those guys,
Well, I don't
like I
hate the
said,
player.
You'll
I
be
hate
collecting Social Security soon.
Maybe sooner than I think.
so we'd like to add some different content. Considering that we camp a lot with the machines, we want to kind of show that part of it, and that's where Greg and John come in. They're the big travel trailer camper people.
well-
They glamp.
Yeah, glamp.
But, one of the things I think is important to bring up, we got that big 44-foot toy hauler, but all the places we go riding to try to find some place to camp, we're actually too big. We've been turned away from some places.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've ever had that happen.
Well, I've been turned down a lot, but
Well,
mostly not by.
not by being too big, though.
Family show.
What are you talking about? Yeah, I was talking about your stature.
You short.
Right.
Did they tell you
He's
that
not
you're
a big
short?
fella.
You're not real tall.
I figured that out.
Vertically challenged.
I figured that out.
Yeah. All right. Unless you guys got anything else, I think we can wrap this one up. I'd like to thank everybody that likes and subscribes. If you just visit, think about liking and subscribing. If you don't want to,
Doesn't cost you a thing to like it and subscribe. Helps us out. Greatly appreciative.
and if you think we do something stupid, you can tell us that. We know to do things stupid, or we're doing something wrong. Point it out. We don't care.
Robbie, what are you doing?
Put the crime scene on there.